I am black again. So, fuck, I forgot the lighter. No, pants. Aha! Lighters in my pants, lighters in my pants. Lighters in my pants, lighters in my pants. Lighters in my pants, lighters in my. Like that shit. Either way, so, that ain't got nothing to do with the rest of the video, though. But, I can rant. Never mind, that's fun. The point of making this video is to talk about strength. Now, I don't really know much about anything. I just talk a lot, and sometimes it makes sense, and sometimes it doesn't. So take that as you will, or don't. Either way, I'm 5'6", 100 and something. Let's get this figured out. I would show you how tall I really am, because I said 5'6", but you know, who's to say I'm an honest person? I don't know. You tell me. You could probably count. If you count all the truths that I've said, you would probably stop counting out the noise. You could probably count the lies because there's less. What? Is this dead? Is there no batteries? Am I not fat enough to register? See, when you get things for free, you can't really complain, can you? It's ungrateful. Either way, ow! Patience. 164.6. Supposedly, I don't know. But what I was getting at is strength. Now, I used to think you could determine strength by its size, clearly. Duh, look at you, you're a behemoth. Of course you can lift up a fucking truck tire. I mean a semi-truck tire, not like a Ford F-150 or some shit. Like, look at you, you're building a shit brick house, of course. Why are you not working yet? Of course you can lift up a freaking tractor tire. Oh my god, look at you, but why are you so weak? That has been the biggest confusion. Why are you so weak? Like, why you live like that? And you can't even live like that. What's wrong with you? That's why I can realize strength ain't shit when it comes to correlating the size. Because size, just because they're big. And I mean muscular big as well as fat big. Like, I don't generally judge a book by its cover anymore just because I've been around a lot. And I've seen a lot of books. I'm just like, ooh, let me read the contents of this. Ugh. 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 And being the size that I am, I figure it was easier for me to build strength as well as the mindset that I had in growing up in the environment that I was in, having so many mentally and or physically disabled siblings and having to be physical with them. To restrain them and or transportation purposes to be able to get them from one area to another, regardless if it's to their chair to get to somewhere else, or from their chair to inside the house, or from the bathroom to their room, or so much transferring. And in my head, I always thought, because of the way that I was depicted on how my life was going to be, quote unquote, I didn't expect any of this shit, to be honest. This is not planned, technically speaking. I'm supposed to be dead. Or the leader of a household that is completely burned down and doesn't really exist, because I was supposed to be a caretaker of all my siblings that had mental and or physical disabilities without the proper information and or the know-how. I was expected to figure this shit out, which is how my life ended up here and how I started talking this and how I've made 4,000 videos on YouTube and too many to fucking count anywhere and everywhere else, because I'm basically on any platform you can think of to a certain degree. Because I'm not like huge in the streaming, because I'm not like on every platform, but you can easily find me on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube, and Facebook. I thought about branching out on other ones, but I'm just like I want to be an entertainer, but my social battery already sucks. Like, I'm great in person to communicate with people. That's assuming that I want to be. It's assuming that you're coming with that. Oh, it's nice to meet you. Stuff. Oh, where have you been? I've been waiting for you. And it takes a lot of strength to restrain myself into being like, you know what, bitch? I got here when I can. You know what, dick? How'd you know my name was Richard? Well, you know what? You piece of shit. It takes a lot of strength not to do that to a lot of people. Because some people I generally believe deserve a punch in the face. Some people deserve a bullet. Some people deserve everything. And some people don't deserve a damn thing. And that's just something that's been around social block so much. I'm just like, I don't. I'll park my car and sit here. I don't want to be here no more. Yeah, weird. And like, not in a fun way, sadly. Like, I'm weird. In both a non-fun way as well as in a fun way. Because I don't necessarily... See, one thing I was thinking about earlier is to be weird is to essentially, or abnormal is to essentially do what the group doesn't do, and to be accepted by a group, in my personal head now, as time has progressed, seems to be not the goal anymore, because to be accepted by a group requires me to do some things. I'm like, that is definitely suicide worthy. Like I would abuse my wife, not physically. I wouldn't try emotionally or intelligently, but if the bitch don't leave, she don't leave. I would never put my hands on my wife, but she's a zombie. That bitch can die. There's a difference. Just because it looks like a bitch don't mean it is a bitch. Bitch is both my favorite filler word and then clearly the derogatory term that most people use to demean women. But I don't mean it to demean women. But a bitch gonna be a bitch. A bitch like a dick, like a nigger, and like a cracker. Like, I don't know. In my head, words are just words. But I am well aware when it comes to communicating with certain people or just people in general. Don't use these words even though you think words are words. And I more care about what you're going to do compared to what you're going to say. Because what I've come to learn and experience as I've been growing up is people just say things to get your go and to provoke you to preemptively strike. Therefore, now you're in trouble because, well, there wasn't a crime until you did something. Now, I do realize harassment is an issue. Did you record it? Did you document? 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 You forget. You have this phone with you 24/7. 9 times out of 10, I don't know who you are, but I know I basically have my phone with me from awake to sleep 9 times out of 10. So therefore, if I ever feel like I'm in a situation where I feel as if things could be misconstrued, especially if it's going to be a colorism thing, or if it's just going to be a sex thing, or something that I feel like no matter how I try to explain, I'm always going to look like the bad guy. Did you hear that? Well, great, because typically when people hear that, boop, now they're acting perfectly. Oh, no, we don't have a problem. Of course we don't have a problem. There's no problem because you have to be held accountable for your actions, and you can't just use your words or your appeal or your colorism to get away with it. Is that why we don't have a problem? Because now I can actually look like the innocent party instead of the guilty party. Wow, wow. Okay. I see the games you play. I see. You know, somebody gonna see you eventually. It just ain't gonna be me. I just tell you what. But did you forget? Document. Because there's always this he says, she says. But I'm not a video editor, so watch this video real quick, okay? See, and check this timestamp. And y'all wearing the same exact shirt. You look the exact same, sound the exact same officer. Internet, I don't know, because sometimes justice is done by the people, through people, for people. Because generally speaking, sometimes cops ain't really doing the job. It's just doing what they're paid to do. And sometimes I don't see nothing, I don't hear nothing because I love my job. Or it's because they love the money. I don't fucking know. That's the point about strength, though. From my experience with people in strength, though, I would say farmer built. Either farmer built, calisthenics built, definitely prison built, because that's just basically the same as calisthenics. It's just they had the time and devotion to do it. As well as I've seen some of the prison workouts. I'm just like, could never be me. Like I think I'm pretty creative with my workouts. I think I'm pretty different with it, but I'm still like, how the fuck do these dudes do that? I don't know. To me, it seems like a lot of stamina endurance. I'm not a huge fan of stamina endurance. I do like the creativity though. I'm a fan of that. But farmer built, calisthenics, and then I would say more or less of laborers, of day labor. And then what I've come to learn as time has progressed too is there's like so many different forms of figuring out. Like there's what you know, and then there's subsections of more things that you're unaware that you know until you get to dive deeper. And like I just used to think, oh, big people are strong, tall people are strong, people that had muscle were strong. And come to realize, strong people are strong people, weaker people are weak people, and some people are physically strong but emotionally weak. Some people are emotionally strong but physically weak, and some people aren't either of them but they try their best. Some people don't even try at all, and some people are just blessed with ungodly strength. They're just like throw things around. It's like, calm the fuck down. Like, what you mean? I've been calm. What you mean? I'm just relaxing. Well, can you relax even more? And that terrifies people. And I feel like that's the main reason why I was made short. Because at 5'6", I shouldn't be terrifying people because I slammed doors because I wasn't aware of how much strength I was. But because I stomp on the feet because I wasn't aware of how much pressure I was. But because I act like fee, 5 full fun. But nigga, you 5'6", calm your ass down, far quad. Is it because my head is not too far from my quad? Either way, I'm just saying. I know I'm short, but like, I know how to control my strength. And then, like I said, the other reason for me wanting to be and focusing on strength is because of the siblings. And it's one thing to lift the weight, it's another thing to hold the thing. So that's why I try to focus when I do weightlifting, is to hold it and pause for a second, because you can do the motions more or less. But what's the motion if I rarely ever have the situations in my personal life where I'm just quickly, aside from weightlifting, lifting the weight up and putting it down. A lot of times I'm having to hold things. Like I was thinking sibling wise, but as well as I have more of my childhood compared to my adulthood. Because it's weird, you're an adult and you don't have kids, but you're always around kids. What the fuck is wrong with you? Am I not allowed to have fertile friends? I don't need to be a daddy to have somebody else's baby. Either way. Daddy to have someone else's baby. And then where was I going with this? I spent a lot of time around kids, spent a lot of time around mentally and or physically disabled people. Strength comes both physically as well as mentally. Don't judge a book by its cover. Be peaceful. Be educated. Educate yourself. Don't just take it for what you see. Question everything. Hell, especially me. Didn't I start this video off like I'm a crazy motherfucker? If I didn't, I can end it. Either way. Also, I'd say this definitely has helped me a lot with my strength, at least with the recovery and as well as the motivation, because now, at least at 27, I don't really have to worry about being held accountable for my siblings that are non-existent, essentially, because I don't know where anybody is. And do I care? I did a couple of years ago. But how do I feel now? How I've always felt. I don't know. I just keep going. Against my will, might I add. I just want to make sure you get back. Growing up, I was worried me being me was going to get me killed. But me not being me is going to get me killed even faster. But what is life? What is death? The concept we were taught. But another thing I've learned, we're not even told half the truth half the times. Maybe you're a bit of the truth. But it is what it is until it isn't. And I've learned a strong person can be strong without looking at, and to judge a book by its cover is to be an idiot. I do my best not to be an idiot. And sometimes I'm just ignorant because, well, I like surprises. And I generally dislike the fact that I'm not surprised as much as I used to be. And I think it's because of the way that my brain works and the way I'm able to recognize things. Like, I expected you and I wanted you to be better, but I knew you wouldn't be. Sorry for having expectations. I'll murder them like I should have my identity. Everything is going to change for the better. So I believe. I don't know about you. It's my story, not yours. Thanks for watching, listening, viewing, spewing, screwing, doing what you do to help me, or maybe you're not helping. Maybe you're just trying to plot. So, more information for you, I guess.